So it has been 1 week in Houston, Texas since Hurricane Beryl came through and absolutely devastated the area. We haven't had power for 6 days until finally electricity was turned back on. And in today's video, I am going to try and revive and recover a ton of damages in my garden and overall just clean things up because I haven't maintained this garden in almost the entire year. And this is year 3 in this garden for me, so a ton of the plants are beginning to take off. So we're gonna straighten up some fallen trees. We're gonna remove a ton of foliage and overall get this predominantly native garden back in specs, because my whole mission with my home suburban garden is to inspire people to plant natives, to attract wildlife into their yard, and to still maintain aesthetics. And I've done the first 2, but I haven't maintained the aesthetic. So let's get started today, baby. Smash that like button. And remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
So a giant part of the garden, which has been an eyesore for me, and that I've debated on how I should best handle this situation, is my pond area. Earlier this year, you guys saw the update where this pond looked absolutely gorgeous. All the plants were popping. But since that time, one of my favorite plants, if not my favorite plant, my passionflower vine, has taken over this entire area and is starting to smother everything out. Now, I feel like a vine layer is the hardest layer to work with in a garden for the simple fact that it just has a tendency to grow, grab other plants with its tendrils, and just take over. And not only that, but as this plant gets bigger and bigger, it does send runners all throughout the garden, and you start having new plants shoot up everywhere. Like here's 1, 2, and yet a 3rd. So all throughout this pond area, this plant has absolutely taken over. Now it does get munched on by the Gulf fritillary butterfly, which is an amazing species, and it's really awesome to see the caterpillars go to work and munch this dude down. But in the summer season, the caterpillars have not been active, so this has gotten absolutely out of control. So I think the best way that I can still maintain the plant in the garden, which originally was just supposed to grow up the pine tree, is to put it in a pot. So I'm gonna try and dig up as much of these plants as possible to propagate them to put on my acreage, and then the rest I'm gonna put in a giant pot with a nice piece of concrete underneath so it doesn't root into the soil and start sending runners everywhere. That way I still get the aesthetic without it taking over the entire space, because overall, I'm just gonna be frank, this does not look good. And gardening isn't simply about aesthetic, it is about the function of the ecosystem. But when you're trying to convert people to want to put in native plants in the first place, and this is the result, it's not the most inspiring to get some people to start going native with their plant selection. So overall, let's start pulling a bunch of this out and revive the pond space. All right, shout out the mosquitoes sucking the life out of me. But I used a little hand shovel to dig out these runners of the passionflower vine, and I did preserve a lot of the root structure, which makes it weaker for popping up in the garden in the future. But also preserving the root structure makes it a lot easier to transplant in the pot, which is the idea I'm going for. So all I did was I got this giant pot and I loosened up the soil and just plopped these bad boys in. What's nuts about the passionflower is retail on these plants is like $20. But once you have one established in the garden, you have an infinite supply of this plant. I have some of my wild acreage, I got some in this pot right here, and if you don't maintain it, as was the case with me, you'll have more than enough to last you as long as your little pea picking heart desires, baby. So here's a bigger cutting, which is just a good example of how large the roots are underneath. And all I had to do was just loosen the soil and chunk that huge piece of root and vine underneath there. Now you can leave all the foliage and leaves on the vine if you would like, but I chopped them off just to make it a little bit easier on the roots to establish. Then I just started yanking out as much of this crazy vine as humanly possible. And this is just such a heartbreaker because this is my favorite plant. The flowers are so gorgeous and watching the caterpillars work it is so cool, but having it just look like a Frankenstein house of vine horror is not the intention. So I just was pulling out as much as possible that was shading out all of my other plants and really limiting the biodiversity. And that's what I want, are tons of pops of color, a lot of different texture. And it was, in all honesty, becoming a bit of a monoculture of this vine everywhere. And just being as the centerpiece of my garden in the front yard, I could not stand for it to look this troublesome. So I moved on to the side of the pond and I started pulling more and more vine out, and I did have to spot apply some herbicide just to ensure that the thick vines with the roots, which I couldn't pull up, would in fact die and not reemerge. I also trimmed up some other bushes that were mauled and mangled by the passionflower vine. All right, we got to take out this backside too because it is stuffed with vines. Just perplexed and astounded simultaneously by how prolific this vine was. But look, this just goes to show that let me be the example of what not to do, okay? Quit being a bum like me and maintain your garden. Keep the vines under control, because if you have a plant that's a little aggressive like this dude, it will take over, rest assured. So then I did trim up some bushes that were unveiled and revealed through the removal of the passion flower. And basically, man, I just gave all of my plants a taper fade, a haircut, you know, just to make them look a lot more presentable, since they were mollywopped by all the tendrils of the vine. Okay guys, so we have the area cleaned up, trimmed, and now what I'm gonna do is remove a lot of the dirt that has started falling near the trunk of this giant pine tree, just to make sure it still has room to breathe, and that way nothing can potentially rot its bark on the outside. So I am just gonna create a nice channel between the pond and the tree right now. Hey, I'm sorry if that was hard to hear. I don't know what my mic was doing, but basically you don't want to bury a tree trunk. So I was using this pickaxe to remove all the dirt that had fallen and built up against the tree trunk throughout the first 2 years, or I guess year and a half, of this badass above ground pond being in the garden. So yeah, I handled business, baby. So now the vines that have roots, I'm putting in this pot right here. I've already put a couple in there. And this pot is gonna go against the giant pine tree. So that way there still is some passion flower vine that the Gulf fritillary caterpillars have co-evolved with. So yeah, let's get a little concrete paver on the ground so the roots don't go crazy, and we'll get this dude back in place. So this whole thing was just trial and error and learning from experience. If you guys can mow around a tree, then plant the vine in the ground. But if you have a little garden bed like me, keep it in a pot. You dig that? Then I'm also gonna place this large trellis on here as well for now. Now it has approximately been 1 week since I began removing all the passionflower vine from the pond, and I have to say the progress and just the explosion of growth has been out of this world. There are flowers popping up everywhere. The garden in and of itself went from looking like a crazy jungle into a more organized, pristine, biodiverse wildlife garden, which is awesome. Now there are some parts of the garden where the passionflower vine has popped back up, but all I'm gonna have to do is pull that guy out the ground. And also the passion flower that is in the pot has taken off and has started to grow. So eventually it will grow up the tree and trellis, which is ideal. But overall, man, the garden definitely looks a hell of a lot better, more organized, and something that is a bit more presentable in a suburban landscape setting. So once again, I tried to mesh the best of both worlds in having the passion flower in a pot and letting the rest of the biodiversity thrive in the pond front yard circular garden that I have growing. Now I was gonna stake up the trees, but I cannot find my tripod, so I'm just gonna save that for another video. But I do appreciate you guys' patience, because it has been an absolute nightmare in terms of weather since the hurricane. It rained for a week straight, so I couldn't get outside and do anything. And I also live in Texas, so right now it's 11 a.m. and it is 92 degrees outside. All right, and that's not even the feels like temperature because it's humid as hell. But yeah, please smash the like button, helps me out tremendously. And always remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
Peace.
Killing these songs, leaving a bloody life by rooster. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used to.